where we will paste the text of the inscription and we will hide that word with question marks.
Every year, thousands of ancient documents go undeciphered because there is no way to decipher them. Now this is changing thanks to artificial intelligence. AI is now reading languages that were silent for centuries. Whether it is the scorched scrolls in the Vesuvius volcano or the symbols found along the Danube River, which are older than Egyptian script, machines are now bringing the lost voices to the fore. These weren't just words. These were thoughts and warnings recorded on clay, bones, and parchments. And now, AI is able to read them again. Today, we will know 20 such examples where AI read lost languages and revealed the secrets hidden behind them. There are still many ancient scripts in the world whose meaning we have not been able to understand till date. The Danube script was also one of them, a language of mysterious signs, which was engraved on clay tablets found in the areas of modern Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania. For a long time, historians debated whether these signs were part of a language or just decoration. Then came artificial intelligence. When these signs were entered into AI-based pattern recognition systems, surprising patterns emerged. Each sign had a certain order. There were repetitions, and the choice of places was also not random. They were behaving like a language, in which rules, structure, and possible grammar existed. The translation may still be far away, but it has become clear that these were not just shapes. It was a developed writing system, and it probably existed even before Egyptian hieroglyphics or Sumerian scripts. Now the big question is, who were the people using this script? Were they recording something that remained hidden from later civilizations? Information about rituals, social systems, or perhaps a warning? The biggest change in linguistics in the last few years has been quietly happening in laboratories. Machines are piecing together lost languages. Thousands of years-old tablets from ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia and Babylonia, which until now were incomplete or broken, are now being read again. AI-based models, particularly recurrent neural networks, are helping to identify and fill in the missing parts of these writings. The language inscribed on these stones, Akkadian, is believed to be one of the oldest written languages in the world. But over time, the tablets cracked, parts were erased, and much was lost. Now, AI models trained with deep learning are able to guess what might have been written in those missing pieces based on thousands of authentic lines. And the surprise is, their guesses are proving to be extremely accurate. And speaking of the Danube, until now, when people talked about the beginning of writing, they pointed straight to Mesopotamia. But now, thousands of years-old stone and clay tablets found along the Danube River suggest otherwise. The symbolic script found there, thought to be mere decoration until now, is emerging as a possible language after AI analysis. The structure, the repetition, the choice of location, all of these were not part of a random design, but appear to be evidence of a well-organized sign system. The patterns found by AI in these signs suggest that this civilization may have been one of the first to use writing, and that its history may be even older than Mesopotamia. Our knowledge of many ancient civilizations is incomplete because the scripts they left behind have been damaged by time. Now, those scripts, once engraved on clay tablets and lying fragmented for thousands of years, are being deciphered with the help of artificial intelligence. Texts written in the Akkadian language of Babylonia, containing laws, religious rules, and historical accounts, are now being deciphered again through machine learning. Deeply trained AI models are able to guess what words they might have contained based on these fragmentary lines, and, surprisingly, Their guesses are proving to be extremely accurate. Some of the lines mention major events of the era, such as religious rituals or astronomical events, which were never clearly known before. This work is not just about putting together scripts, but about understanding and redefining history. Similarly, the scrolls found in the Dead Sea caves, which were long unclear, are now being revealed through AI technology. For example, the Great Isaiah Scroll was previously thought to have been written by a single author, but microscopic AI analysis has shown that at least 2 people wrote it. This suggests that there was an organized system of scroll-making, where more than one person worked together to create texts. Subtle changes in the writing style also show that these texts may have undergone emotional or objective changes, such as an attempt to hide or protect a particular message. These discoveries make it clear that texts that we have considered religious or symbolic until now were probably part of a larger social or intellectual effort. And all this is now being revealed as AI revives words that were silent for centuries. One of the biggest challenges in archaeology is reading texts that have been badly damaged by time and disaster. For centuries, such documents were simply kept in museums because there was no secure technology to read them. But now, AI is doing what was long thought to be impossible in this field. The burnt scrolls found in the Italian city of Herculaneum, buried in ash after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, once looked like black stones. Attempts to read them were made for years, but every attempt was at risk of damage. Now, using high-resolution CT scans and machine learning, scientists have learned to virtually open these scrolls, without touching them, without causing damage. The writings recorded in these scrolls are revealing the philosophical thinking of ancient Roman thinkers, especially Epicurean philosophy. They contain serious discussions on topics like life, happiness, sorrow, and the soul. Some passages are so outspoken that even speaking them in those times could have proved dangerous. On the other hand, AI has also started looking at the Dead Sea Scrolls with a new perspective. Earlier, they were considered only religious texts, but new investigations have shown that some parts of them can indicate practical aspects of life, social concerns, and perhaps even political protest. These documents reflect not just religion, but the thoughts, fears, and strategies of the people of that time. Like a guide written in times of crisis, AI is now reading each scroll from a new perspective. And with every line, a new piece of history is being added. This is not just remembering the past, it is trying to understand it as it really was. 200 years ago, the clay inscriptions in Akkadian were read by only a handful of experts, and they would spend months deciphering a single tablet. It's the same writing system used during the Mesopotamian civilization, a script thought to be older than today's alphabet. But now technology has brought new momentum to unlocking this window into history. Researchers at Israel's Tel Aviv University worked with machine learning experts to create an AI model trained on thousands of real translations. Now, the same AI model can read and interpret the symbols on the clay tablets in just a few moments, including royal orders, trade transactions, myths, and details about social arrangements. It's not just translating words. The AI has also shown how the Akkadians thought. Their fears, political policies, religious customs, and even warnings of internal conflicts were recorded in these inscriptions. Many lines of what were previously thought to be just stories now indicate that the events may have been real and may have been intended to warn of future dangers. The question now becomes more profound. Were they predicting a catastrophe or hiding the truth hidden within their civilization? Whatever the case, it's clear. The oldest voices in history are now being heard. and machines are revealing what human eyes could not detect. Every year, thousands of ancient inscriptions are dumped in museums and excavation sites, incomplete, worn, and often illegible. They have been so affected by the ravages of time that entire sentences or lines have been erased. Previously, it would take historians years to decipher and piece together such writings. Now that same task is being done in a matter of seconds, with the help of artificial intelligence. Researchers from Google DeepMind and Oxford University have created an AI model called Pythia, which is capable of rereading and reconstructing ancient Greek writings. This AI doesn't just read, it understands how to complete an incomplete line, with what style and grammar. Pythia analyzes the pattern of letters on old and damaged stones and guesses what could have been written there. Its guesses are not speculation, but based on thousands of authentic examples. Some of the reconstructed lines point to themes that were not recorded in history until now, like political machinations, social taboos, or deliberately hidden information. This is not just a technological achievement, it also challenges our understanding of history. What once seemed like mere markings on stone now speak like clear voices. The question now is, what else still lies buried under the rubble, once beyond human reach? Because at the speed at which AI is working, the past will not remain silent for long. For a long time, linguists and historians believed that some ancient scripts would probably never be read. They had no bilingual context, no clear grammatical structure, just mysterious signs etched on stone. But now, machine learning techniques have given new hope to reading these scripts. AI researchers are now applying next-generation techniques to complex writing systems like the Indus Valley script and the Rongorongo script of Easter Island. Neural networks are being trained to recognize hidden patterns, repetitions, and possible grammatical structures in them, and results are starting to show. The Indus script, which is believed to be about 4,500 years old, has been the subject of controversy. Some experts believed it was not a real language, but a collection of symbolic pictures. But now, AI analysis is showing that these signs have a structure similar to linguistic rules, which could change that whole notion. Similarly, the Rongorongo script, linked to Easter Island thousands of miles away, is now being deciphered for the first time as a set of grammatical symbols, the last remaining message from an unknown culture, trapped in the depths of time and now unraveled by technology. Meanwhile, oracle bones, burnt cow bones, and turtle shells used during the Shang Dynasty in China are being seen in a new light. These bones were not just objects of religious ritual, but the symbols etched on them were part of early Chinese writing. For decades, deciphering these symbols was extremely difficult, but now AI models are able to read them with great accuracy. These algorithms have been trained on thousands of scanned remains, allowing them to pick up patterns that are usually missed by the human eye. These models are extracting information on warfare, weather, royal rituals, and religious symbols, and mapping the thinking and structure of an ancient civilization. AI isn't just reading scripts anymore. It's bringing back the voices of civilizations once thought to have been silenced forever. Understanding the origins of the Chinese writing system has always been a complex task, especially when its basis is some burnt bones and signs engraved on turtle shells. During the Shang Dynasty, these oracle bones were used to ask religious questions, but modern research is making it clear that these were not just a means of worship or fortune-telling. They were documents of the earliest written language. Now that AI-based models are studying these symbols, there are also signs that are directly linked to political decisions, predictions of crisis, and social upheaval. There are also some writings that seem to warn of disaster or betrayal, All this was hidden in inscriptions that were once thought to be only religious symbols. On the other hand, the writing system of the Mayan civilization of Central America also remained a mystery for years. This system was extremely complex, made up of symbols, animal figures, and geometric compositions, which has been a challenge for historians to understand. But now, AI technology is solving that complexity as well. Researchers have created models that can identify Mayan glyphs in their original form, in a fraction of the time. It used to take experts hours or days to separate each glyph from a stone or manuscript, but now that can be done in seconds. The identification process is so important, like arranging the alphabet, then forming words, that it's leading to a better understanding of Mayan social structure, royal lineages, astronomical knowledge, and religious rituals. Some signs that were previously thought to be merely decorative are now being identified as dates, names, or warnings. And as AI decodes these symbols, it's becoming clear that the Mayans weren't just keeping a record of time, they were trying to control time. The question now is, how many such secrets are still hidden in temple walls or buried manuscripts, perhaps waiting for the right technology for centuries? Many ancient languages are not known to us today because there was no way to decipher them. They were recorded on clay tablets, stone walls, or metal tablets, but over time they were not read or deciphered. Scripts like Ugaritic and Linear B remained the domain of small groups of scholars for decades, with very limited understanding. Now, artificial intelligence is changing this picture. Researchers have developed a neural decoding model based on minimum cost flow algorithms that has made significant progress in deciphering both of these ancient scripts. For example, decoding Ugaritic has improved by 5.5%, and identifying cognates in Linear B has increased to 67.3% accuracy. This is important because these scripts are not just limited to a few words or sentences. They provide a glimpse into the entire thinking, culture, and governance system of the time. The Ugaritic script gives us insight into ancient Syria and its Semitic linguistic origins, while Linear B dates back to the early stages of Mycenaean Greece, when structures of trade, religion, and governance were taking shape. AI isn't just reading these dead languages anymore. It's giving voice back to civilizations that had been lost to history without a word. And some of the new lines that are emerging now reveal that these societies had complex power dynamics, esoteric religious practices, and elaborate trade networks, details that differ significantly from historical estimates to date. The real question now is, how many more languages are still buried in the layers of history, just waiting to be read by technology? Because at the rate these models are moving, the past won't stay hidden for long. Today's modern technology is not only changing the present, but also revealing the oldest layers of history to a new perspective. Recently, the Nazca lines spread across Peru, South America, were reanalyzed with the help of artificial intelligence, and the results are surprising. Previously, very little was known about these huge drawings on the ground in the Nazca Desert. These figures, which depict animals, humans, and geometric shapes, are clearly visible only from the sky, and who, why, and how created them has been debated for years. Now, with the help of high-resolution drone imagery and AI algorithms, about 1,300 new lines have been discovered. Some of the figures are more than 100 feet across, while others are so faint that they are difficult to see with normal vision. All of them were hidden under sand and time for centuries. But now, technology is identifying them, and these discoveries could completely change our understanding of the Nazca civilization. Similarly, the symbols engraved on an ancient stone found in a desert area of West Asia have also forced researchers to think. This stone is definitely old, But AI was used to understand the meaning of the signs engraved on it, and what came out was not just historical, but like a warning. This analysis made it clear that the writing was not an ordinary message. It possibly contained signs of some danger or social change, which the people of that time were probably recording deliberately. This question still remains. Were these prophecies, or any sensitive information of that era? The most important thing is that AI is now not only reading ancient scripts, but it is also revealing the thoughts, fears, and experiences of those civilizations which were till now locked in unknown symbols. The biggest feature of ancient civilizations has been that they used to record most of the communication through stones, clay, and symbols. But the meaning of every sign is not always clear. The huge figures carved in the ground on the Nazca Plateau in Peru are a vivid example of this. For a long time, these lines were linked to religious or astronomical purposes, but recently, when they were restudied with the help of AI, some new facts came to light. There are some signs that are not found in the known Nazca art till now, which has also raised the suspicion that different cultural influences may be involved in them, or these lines may have evolved over many generations. AI-based image processing has revealed new designs and patterns hidden under sand and time. And based on these, researchers are now looking at the thinking, messages, and scientific understanding of the Nazca civilization in a new way. Behind these lines, not only faith, but perhaps communication, warning, or social information may also be hidden. On the other hand, an extremely old symbolic script found in Europe, called the Danube script, has puzzled researchers until now. The script, found in the areas of modern Serbia, Bulgaria, and Romania, is estimated to be about 7,000 years old, predating Egyptian hieroglyphics and the Sumerian script of Mesopotamia. The signs in this script do not match any known language, nor is there any bilingual reference for it. But now, when these signs were analyzed using artificial intelligence, they began to show signs of repetition, order, and possible grammatical structure. AI models have sorted hundreds of signs and compared them to other ancient scripts. Some symbols have been found that behave like grammatical signs in a language, while others point to spiritual or astronomical references. If it is proven that the Danube script was indeed a complete writing system, it would change the notion that written language only began in Egypt or Mesopotamia. It would mean that the tradition of writing in Europe had begun much earlier. And this discovery could completely change the timeline of human history. AI is no longer just reading scripts. It is listening to sounds that were silent for thousands of years. Every time a new archaeological dig unearths ancient clay tablets, the biggest question is, can it be read? The Proto-Elamite script found in Iran has been a difficult example of this question. No one has ever been able to clearly decipher this script, used about 5,000 years ago. It has no known grammar and no known common language. But now, technology has begun to break this stagnation. Researchers are feeding thousands of Proto-Elamite signs into deep learning models and training them. The goal is to identify patterns that human experts often miss. These include small changes, similarities between symbols, and analysis of repeated symbols that might indicate numbers, names, or grammatical structures. This effort is not a normal translation process. It is an attempt to decipher a script that no one has spoken for thousands of years. But the results that AI models are producing show that this direction is right. The real question now is, what was recorded on these tablets? Trade transactions, religious stories, or something that could explain the social and political structure of the time, like beliefs, systems, or information about potential crises. If AI manages to read this script fully, it won't just be translating a lost language. It will reveal the voice of a civilization that existed before the Persian Empire, and may have influenced Mesopotamia as well. The quietest script in history is slowly speaking, and AI is becoming its most accurate interpreter. Until a few decades ago, discovering ancient texts hidden in medieval manuscripts was considered nearly impossible. Erastonished letters, rewritten portions, and faded ink marks over time all concealed aspects of history that were once recorded but then forgotten. Now, with the help of cutting-edge hyperspectral imaging and artificial intelligence, texts buried beneath these layers are being rediscovered and read. Teams of researchers and students scanned manuscripts that had not been touched for centuries, and AI processed the scans to reveal erased sentences, deleted comments, and hidden knowledge. These documents contain religious commentaries, scientific ideas, and medicinal knowledge. Subjects that were either suppressed at one time or buried under recycled pages due to lack of resources. These texts now reveal not only people's beliefs, but also their intellectual level and some sensitive ideas, which may have been deliberately hidden. On the other hand, AI is also playing a big role in finding remains hidden under the ground. Using traditional methods, archaeologists used to take years to decide where to dig. Now, by combining information such as satellite images, topographical data, climate patterns, and vegetation analysis, AI is identifying places that were ignored till now. Some AI models are pointing to potential sites that are not even visible to the naked eye, but may be important based on geomorphological and historical clues hidden within the data. Many of these places are connected to ancient trade routes, and some are in areas where no one had even imagined digging. The impact of this is not limited to the process of excavation. It can directly affect our historical understanding. If these discoveries prove accurate, they could rewrite the story of human migration, warfare, and the development of ancient civilizations. Now that machines are navigating the past, the ground is speaking again, and history is becoming clearer than ever. One of the biggest barriers to historical research has been that we didn't have the technology to read or understand the languages we have records of. Today, artificial intelligence is rapidly breaking down this barrier and bringing to light the voices that history never recorded or deliberately suppressed. An important example is Nushu, a unique script once used only by women in China's Hunan province. This script was not only a means of communication, but also a means of emotional and social connection for women whose voices were not heard in traditional society. Nushu was used in clothing embroidery, personal letters, and folk songs, and it slowly began to disappear over time. Now, researchers at Dartmouth College have created an AI-powered tool called Nushu Rescue that was trained on just 35 sentence pairs, and yet began to digitally revive this rare language. It's not just preserving documents, it's resurrecting the language. The project has shown that with the right technology, endangered languages can be read and spoken again. And more importantly, it has given a voice to generations of women whose stories were almost lost. Similarly, AI is playing a key role in reading Middle Persian, a language of medieval Iran. For this work, scientists have developed a toolkit called Parsip, an advanced AI system that not only reads Old Persian scripts, but also interprets the structural and phonetic cues hidden behind them. Parsiput is characterized by the fact that it uses natural language processing, NLP, to decipher meaning by breaking down words into their parts of speech, phonemes, and grammatical contexts. And this is being done for the first time with the Middle Persian language. It is not just limited to reading royal proclamations or religious texts. It is revealing information that is related to power struggles, religious changes, and hidden political strategies. Now that tools like Parsipit are available, researchers are able to read stories that may have once been intentionally hidden. It's time to ask, how much of history have we lost because we didn't have a way to read it? AI isn't just deciphering old languages, it's giving voice back to cultures that were until now confined to ruins and unintelligible scripts. Reading ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs remains one of the most complex challenges in history and linguistics. The main problem is that most of the original writings are either damaged, incomplete, or so rare that the work on them has become extremely limited. This has forced researchers to turn to new technologies, and this is where AI has come in. Recently, scientists used a technique called neural style transfer, which allowed AI to understand the style, graphemes, and artistic structure of the original Egyptian script, and then create synthetic hieroglyphs that matched it. These digital scripts are so accurate that even experts are unable to distinguish them from the real ones. The purpose of this technology is not just to copy ancient art. Its real purpose is to preserve language forms that were used thousands of years ago and are now slowly disappearing. These are the same scripts that recorded information related to the religious beliefs, governance, and social life of ancient Egypt. These new datasets created by AI are not just preserving scripts, but also helping to unlock messages that were until now lying in museums, waiting to be translated. This process doesn't just limit us to looking at the walls of ancient tombs. We can now read them, understand them, and learn from them. This work is not just about reviving a language, but peeling back layers of history that were until now beyond our reach, with a sign, a symbol, a sentence. AI is no longer just preserving the past, it is also giving it a chance to speak. And this time, history will not remain silent. In the ancient plateaus of Iran, where early civilizations were emerging, signs were left in the soil that remain a mystery to this day. We know this as the Proto-Elamite script, and it is considered to be one of the oldest writing systems in the world. This script is older than Egyptian hieroglyphics and the nail script of Mesopotamia. But the problem is that till date there has been no clear translation of it. Hundreds of clay tablets, thousands of signs, but no solid understanding has been made till now. Now scientists have resorted to artificial intelligence, AI, to solve this complexity. With the help of high-resolution imaging and machine learning techniques, AI is scanning these ancient symbols line by line, trying to understand every line, every pattern, and the initial results are surprising. AI has identified repeating signs, clusters, and possible grammatical structures, things that human researchers often missed. Now, these aren't just vague shapes, they're a language trying to say something. It's worth asking, what was the civilization of that time saying? Were they recording trade, sharing religious ideas, or hiding some big societal secret? If AI manages to decipher this script completely, we'll be unlocking not just a language, but a nearly forgotten civilization. And much of history will be given a new context. One morning in 2025, something began at the Asiatic Society in Kolkata that brought India's intellectual heritage to a new light. The shelves of ancient manuscripts that had been lying closed for decades were brought to the digital world. Project Vidvaniko. This was no ordinary digital scanning project. It was about over 52,000 manuscripts that had been gathering dust for centuries. Texts written in Sanskrit, Prakrit, and several endangered regional languages, hiding ideas related to philosophy, science, medicine, and religious rituals. Most of these texts were so old and complex that they were almost impossible to read using conventional methods. But now, a joint team of linguists and data scientists created AI models specifically made for ancient Indian scripts, and the results are astonishing. AI is not just recognizing letters, but also revealing the meanings hidden within these texts. Some translations have revealed clues that point to mysterious processes, lost technologies, and deep philosophical perspectives. Things that have until now been outside our common understanding of history. The question now becomes urgent. Were these texts deliberately hidden? Did they contain information that was ahead of its time? And if so, now that AI is exposing them, will we be able to do justice to that ancient knowledge? This treasure trove of history has only just begun to unravel. What is being revealed now could shape not just the past, but the future as well.